Hi everyone.
Basic, 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 basic.
I hope you all enjoyed a lovely spring break. I traveled to Indianapolis, Portland, Seattle, and now I'm on my way to Boise. All for work though, I'm afraid, so not much vacation time for me. But as you transition from taking a break back to your schoolwork, I hope you'll do so with some renewed energy. That's because this week's assignments for our class are pretty demanding. Also, I didn't mean for this to be such a long announcement, but it is. Sorry, so buckle up. First, you should read 4 items this week. I would suggest that you begin with the selection from The Everyday Writer and the article by Margaret Kotz before reading the 2 assignment sheets for the annotated bibliography and the Blackboard discussion post. The Everyday Writer piece, which spans pages 164 to 181, is about critically evaluating research and sources and their levels of accuracy and credibility. That's also what the Margaret Kotz piece is about. I think this is such an important part of academic writing with research that teachers often forget to talk about. I also just wanted to spend a little bit of time unpacking some of Margaret Kotz's article for you. In Kotz's article, we learned that reading and writing aren't just about repeating the facts that we extract from our research, but rather about interpreting and challenging the credibility and authority of the sources and research we encounter, because of the context in which they were published. For instance, what year was the source published? And does the source carry any implicit biases? Kotz's main example is about a hypothetical student named Shirley, who is researching the Battle of Agincourt, a famous battle between the French and the British. Based on her different sources, some written by French people and others written by British people, Shirley learns that there are conflicting facts about what actually went down, and it's because her different authors have different biased interpretations of the truth. We can learn from this reading that what we consider as facts are not necessarily always true. Facts, according to Kotz, are just claims that an audience has agreed is true. For example, consider the quote-unquote fact that the Earth is round. Okay, sure. But this depends on the meaning of the word round in relation to the Earth's actually imperfectly shaped sphere, with its deep canyons and tall mountains. Also, it used to be factual that the Earth was flat, right? We know now that it's not really flat, but at the time, enough people agreed it was true, so it was. We might apply the same suspicion to statements like, rap is unprofessional, based on the alternative interpretation that, while rap might use language that some audiences and contexts might find inappropriate, it is also indeed a profession that generates millions of dollars for some artists. Or we might challenge the fact that the sky is blue, based on the premises that sometimes it's nighttime, sometimes it's cloudy, and sometimes people who look at the sky are colorblind. When you're researching your Project 3, keep in mind that your sources might be biased and the facts you discover might not actually be facts at all. This is where your critical thinking comes in. The takeaway is that you should evaluate your sources, consider their biases, and make sure that you draw from multiple circles as you make points in your paper. Again, I would suggest that you begin with the selection from The Everyday Writer and the article by Margaret Kotz before reading the 2 assignment sheets for the annotated bibliography and the Blackboard discussion post. Once you've read those pieces, you should then, of course, actually write those assignments
For the annotated bibliography and the Blackboard discussion post.
I think these instructions are extremely straightforward, but if you have any questions about what I'm expecting, please don't hesitate to ask. As usual, all of this is due this Sunday at some point. Another item that I will cover here and now is the concept of primary research. Do remember from the Project 3 assignment sheet that one of your requirements is to include at least one primary source. For some of you, this may be pretty new, but I want you to be exposed to it in this intro-level writing class. Primary research is research that you conduct yourself. rather than research that someone else conducted and then published about. This can take several forms, including interviews, observation notes, surveys, questionnaires, and personal narratives or reflections. I do want you to engage with at least one of these of your choice, and to fold it into all of the secondary research that you also draw from by citing it in your paper as well. As usual, if you're concerned or confused about this, please just let me know and we'll talk more about it. Finally, just to forecast beyond this week, we'll cool our jets just a bit. Except for me, my jets are actually heating up because, again, I'm flying to Boise and then to Denver and then whatever. I'm just flying. Not cooling my jets. Next week is all about making sure your research and citations are perfect. Then there's a peer review, and then you have a whole week to work independently on the project and to ask me any last-minute queries before the final due date on April 17th. Alright, so that was a lot of stuff. Please let me know if you have any questions as you accomplish all of your course goals this week. And until then, take care.